So I think what we can say is that since Chase was closed, stability has returned to the institution, which is under receivership. Stability is evidenced in the way that the operations of the bank continue. Withdrawals have significantly dropped, and we now have a net position of deposits, more deposits than withdrawals. All payment activities have been activated, including Visa. Customer transactions are 40 billion to date in the sense of the activity that's going through the bank. And we have 13,680 new accounts that have been opened. So from a central bank perspective, what we're seeing is this is returning to the activities of a normal bank. And I think the governor raised this with you in December when we met, and we were able to show that the stabilization of this institution is on course. And what we're reaffirming today, at the end of January, is that that process is continuing. I think the governor was very clear to everyone that our objective, our target, is the end of the first quarter 2017, which to most people means the end of March. And he also asked you, and I remind you again, we're not talking about a date. This type of activity is quite complex, it's quite difficult, and we don't want everybody saying that the 31st of March is the date. But our target is the end of the first quarter and continues to be the end of the first quarter. And at Central Bank, I know that throughout December and throughout January, we've been working to that target, and it still stays in place. So what does that mean? That means that we've had 3 months, January, February, and we will have March as well, to address what needs to be done in order to refloat, return this institution back to the private sector. January was really set on reaffirming, reestablishing, improving our understanding of the institution and also of the process that's required to achieve this. And I think as we come to the end of January, a lot of work has been done on that. I certainly have a clearer understanding on many issues. So in a simplistic way, because I don't want to go into a lot of details here, but what we'll be doing is setting up some form of data room, which is documents, data, that will be available at the same time for everyone, in the same way, for those parties that are interested in participating in returning this institution to the private sector. So what we're essentially trying to achieve is that the same data will be available to everyone at the same time in the same way, so that there's a complete uniformity of the way that people who wish to participate are engaged. February then is the process of advising and alerting everyone as to how you engage, where you will find this, what time it will be available, where it will be available, etc. So that will be the February process. My concerns around this is that it is likely that the evaluation and selection process, which will happen in March, will be quite complex. And therefore, if the central bank, the KDIC, require that period, the whole of March, to do that evaluation and processing, then the February period will be quite short. So for those people who are interested, then we need to alert them that they need to be ready to run fast when this data becomes available. We are not, at this stage, creating any strict parameters around how this will happen. And we are advised by this, by what other countries have told us, and by the kinds of people who might be interested, having different models as to how they would determine how the bank moves forward. And it's not for central bank to be dictatorial in the way that it will move forward. What we are very clear on, and this is a point that I want the audience to understand our position. Our position is that we must return Chase Bank to the market in a way that it will sustain and continue. Sustain and continue. We at Central Bank have no interest in having Chase Bank be returned to us. So it must sustain and continue. So I